Good morning, good morning, good morning. Aha! Joe, we are live. What's happening, brother?
Not much. I'm definitely in a usual. I'm a little closer to you now. I'm in North Carolina, but I'm excited for these games this weekend, Blake. I'm juiced up.
Started off sluggish. We didn't hear for the first half of what you said, but it's okay. All we heard was I'm in North Carolina, but it's good. We're good. Okay? We're going to be good. It's going to be a good day. Massive day in the SEC and everything it is that we're doing. Some big games, Tennessee versus LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Missouri, Florida, Auburn, UGA, and we wrap up the nightcap with A&M and Bama. Joe, let me start off with this because obviously we do the LSU show every week, every day, obviously covering the Tigers. Let me start off by saying this. Will Campbell is officially out, LSU starting left tackle, just having some complications. He's in the hospital. Guys, for now, let's not worry about why he's out. Let's just worry about that he is out. So, big deal that LSU starting left tackle will be out, but also Cedric Tillman, the wide receiver, very talented wide receiver for Tennessee, is also out. So that's some very big news. But, Joe, we start off the day with some really good games. But I want to ask you, where are you? Say you're in North Carolina. What are you guys doing?
North Carolina for football.
Joe, you're breaking up, buddy. You're breaking up. Hold on. Yep, you're breaking up. Okay, we'll get back to Joe in just a minute. But yes, Joe is in North Carolina going to an FCS game, I think in Campbell. So it's going to be really fun for him to do that. But look, I'll add on to that. Let's see if we get Joe back here. Look, okay, let's see. Let's try this again. Joseph.
Okay. Am I sounding okay?
Oh, there you go,
okay.
Man.
Oh, this was a headache I hope wouldn't happen. But we're in Buies Creek, North Carolina. We're at Campbell University. My co-host for the FCS football podcast that I played with, we let our listeners pick where we went to attend a game. So it's homecoming this weekend. And it's kind of a little bit of a cruel joke where we got put here in Buies Creek, North Carolina, because there is nothing over here. We're in the one hotel that's over here.
Well, I will say this. Do you have a Glock with you? Do you have do you have a piece?
I wasn't allowed to bring that on the plane, but that might have been smart to get when I got here.
Yeah, I hear that there's a lot of bikers around. I'm sure one of them has a Glock 40, so you could pop some shots off if you need to.
Yeah, we were trying to last night, and Sean wanted to look at this place, and Sean.
Joe, we're gonna have to bring you down, buddy. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. All right. Yeah, we can't hear Joe. We'll keep trying him. Let's see what happens here. But let's start off the show with this. Blake Maxwell says, better be strapped. Amy, my boy. I don't know what Amy. Better be strapped, my boy. I got you. Leighton says, we are wearing white helmets. Are we? Have we gotten this confirmed? Zach, can we try to find this? All right, y'all bear with us. I don't think we're wearing white helmets. Rob says Will Campbell is out for the game. That he is. Look, this is the SEC show. We'll talk some LSU first. Obviously, we'll talk some LSU Tennessee. You guys know. We'll talk it. We'll just start here. But let's do this. Let's reset and then we'll get rolling. Jeff wrote, says LFG tequila sunrise time. I agree. I agree. All right, we're just trying to make show. Go ahead, put that back up there, Zach. What'd you say? White helmets confirmed per LSU. Okay. Let's go, baby. Wowzers. I mean, are we white helmets? Like, are we all white? The LSU said, keep the smoke. We got the cold. We got the ice. Okay. Are we going all white here, Zachy? It'd be fire. It'd be fire to do the all whites if LSU does it. So yeah. So let's do this. Let's take the break. Let's get this thing shared. We'll talk around the SEC. We'll start off with Tennessee and LSU, and then we'll talk Arkansas, Mississippi State as well. So let's do that. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all of those Facebook groups. If you're listening to us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. If you're listening to on the audio podcast platform, tune in, radio, wherever you're listening, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share, share, share. Do us a favor by hitting the like and share. All right, Zachy, let's pay these bills very quickly. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag and GM Varno and Sons. Guys, we return in 1 minute. Let's talk some LSU. Let's talk some Tennessee. Let's talk some Miss-State. Hell, let's talk the entire SEC. We'll be right back. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code Bleav50, that's Bleav50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno & Sons, go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992, 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. All right, I did just send a text to the equipment staff. Zach, we got confirmed that they'll be wearing all whites. At least that's what they said, yes. So we'll see. I mean, they're usually pretty busy. But yeah, let's see. All right, let's start this off. Everybody, if you're just joining us, hit the like and share. All of you. All 250 of you right now, the ones that watching live, listening on radio, all that stuff, hit the live, share, all that good stuff. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay, so listen, it's a big day for LSU. It's a big day for Tennessee. It'll be the first game that we kick off. Obviously, I have Joe that's with us, but we cover the SEC. If you don't know, if it's your first time listening to us on this show, look, I think LSU has a very strong battle in front of them today. If you're just listening, if you're just finding out, maybe you went to bed a little bit early last night to wake up early for the game, LSU will be out will have out starting left tackle Will Campbell. Guys, that's a pretty big deal. I've been told and think Cam Wire may step into that role, but I think if things get bad, we'll have a little bit of a rotation there of guys. It's not a good thing at all. It's not a good thing at all that you have that. But Tennessee does have some guys that are going to be out as well. I hate to say it's not look, you still got to go play your game. You still got to go play your game. From the Tennessee side of things, it's going to be a loud crowd. It's going to be a massive, loud crowd. Okay? LSU's look, this is a big game for both programs holistically. Holistically, it's a very big game for both programs. If Tennessee were to win, they'll be undefeated going into Alabama next week. And if LSU wins, it will probably cement to a lot of people that, as Sam Ehlinger once said, maybe not us, but to most people, this is what they'll think about LSU.
We're back.
You can't really be back if you haven't really gone anywhere, right? You can't really be back if you've never left, but it's a big program changer, right? It's a big program shifter. And we talked about this all week on our personal show. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a monumental win, but it can be one that points you back into the right direction of where it is that you want to go. So we'll see. Look, on both sides, obviously we know Tennessee has a really good offense. LSU has a really good defense. But I think the keys for LSU to win would be running the football down the field, okay, over and over and over again. If LSU wants to find a way to win, they're going to have to play a little bit of keep away at times. They're going to have to run the football. Also, for Tennessee to win, man, you just got to win you got to play your game, right? Don't get into the battle with the crowd and LSU, and don't fall into the trap that is Death Valley. Guys, you know what that trap is if you watch our shows throughout the week. Tennessee needs to know that. It's going to be loud, man. It's sold out. It's packed. We went through Baton Rouge last night. Obviously, I'm there every 5, 6, 7 days a week. Look, I mean, it is a jam-packed crowd. It's going to be a massive game here at 11 a.m. Let's do this because we'll get to Georgia and Auburn next with Coach Burton, and then we'll get to A&M Bama a little bit later. I do want to talk about very quickly this Arkansas-Mississippi State game, guys. Zach, I think Arkansas is going down. I think Arkansas is about to get beat down. I'm going to take Miss State pretty heavily here. Look, if KJ is out and they don't have a lot of things and weapons offensively, it just seems as if Arkansas is going through a 3-game stretch that is absolutely brutal. It's absolutely brutal for Georgia. For Arkansas. Arkansas has one of, if not the worst, passing defense in the league, which obviously we know what Mississippi State can do. Okay? Therefore, I think Mississippi State at home really runs it up against Arkansas. Kind of the same type of game in both of these in the 11 a.m. slot. One team likes to throw the ball all around the field. The other one's going to have to play a little bit of keep away and run the football. So we'll see. But 2 premier games at 11 a.m. as number 8 Tennessee is at number 25 LSU, and Arkansas goes to number 23 Mississippi State. Guys, you can put in score predictions for both of those games now. Questions, thoughts, concerns, put inside the Rudy Crew chat, #AskBlake, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. Okay, let's do this. Zach, we're already at our first guest, brother. We're rolling this morning, man. We got Bleav in Georgia host Corey Burton. You can follow him on Twitter at Coach Burton36. He joins to talk Georgia Auburn next. But let's talk about our good friends over at Gramco, thegramco.com. We return in 1 minute. Let's talk some Georgia Auburn. Guys, I've got to talk to you about our good friends over at Gramco. They are the Delta 8 company based out of the state of Florida. They're founded by college football junkies just like you and I am not sure if you're familiar with Delta 8, but you need to be. Gramco is the absolute leader in this field, and they have phenomenal products that I just need to tell you about. First off is the Wake and Bake coffee that is absolutely spectacular. The gummies are as well, as they're the best in the market. So go to thegramco.com right now and use the promo code AYS25. That's thegramco.com, AYS25 promo code to get 25% off of your order. Jump on this fast as it is perfect for holidays, anniversaries, and everyday use. Gramco is hemp-derived and completely legal inside of the state of Louisiana. No medical card is needed. and shipping is very discreet. You must be 21 years older to order. Again, that's thegramcode.com. Use that promo code AYS25. All right, we are joined here by Coach Burton. Coach, what's happening, man?
Man, it's a great Saturday morning. Looking forward to this game later on at 2:30 Central Time in Athens as they take on the Auburn Tigers. I coach high school as well, so we won our homecoming game 50-9. So that was always good.
I love it. You run a lot of spread concepts, zone read, RPO. What you got going over here, Coach?
We got some spread concepts, a lot of quick game, screens, inside zone, counter, things like that. So we're multiple in that, but we like to spread you out, give you multiple formations, and keep you off balance.
As a former FCS center, would you hand me the football on the goal line? You know, if we're playing an inferior opponent, would you give me a touchdown, Coach, or no?
Of course.
Okay. I have all 4 years of Georgia eligibility high school left. I'll shave my beard and come play for you. Coach Corey Burton joined us. Look, Corey, I don't know how to say this other than this. Georgia, although had some struggles against Missouri and Kent State, struggles, okay, you come in and you play in an Auburn team that's a rivalry game. I think Georgia bounces back and really takes over this game. Auburn's really struggling. Do you think Georgia goes out there and makes a statement today?
I do. I absolutely do. I think, in these rivalry games, we had one earlier in the season against South Carolina, and Stetson was dialed in. Couldn't stop him. He looked like the second coming of Michael Vick out there, and the offense was rolling. Defense was stout. I think you're starting to see this defense kind of try to figure some things out. You had a couple guys injured, Jalen Carter being one of them on the defensive line. But offensively, it's just a drop pass here, a turnover there, just some miscommunication in the zone read game that gave Missouri opportunities to take some momentum, and Missouri did a good job of doing that. But yeah, I think we make a huge statement here. Deep South's oldest rivalry. We have Auburn's number. It's a recipe for a big day in Athens.
Coach, what do you think? What do you think is Kent State and Missouri did do well? I mean, obviously we know they did have some success. What is the biggest worry for you with this Georgia team right now defensively?
Tempo. Missouri did a good job of being tempoed and keeping Georgia off balance with deep shots, RPOs, and just getting to the line quick and not allowing us to substitute and not allowing us to communicate. And with a new defense, with new personnel out there, communication can be an issue.
I agree with you there. And look, I think Kirby's going to get that fixed. And look, a lot of teams struggle with tempo teams. Again, struggle. It seemed to me that Missouri wasn't necessarily capitalizing and beating Georgia. It would be just like one position group is out of line and they would make a big play. So that's why I don't really worry about Georgia. On the other side, though, Stetson Bennett getting some heat after really turning it on to start the season. I don't really understand it. What do you think is going on with this offense? Do you think that I'm not blaming Stetson Bennett. I don't think it's him, but what do you believe?
It's just out of sync. Sometimes offenses tend to do that. Sometimes they just get out of sync where you don't quite hit the passes you were hitting earlier in the year. You get a little bit of pressure being down. This offense isn't used to being down 16-3 like they were at one point last week. So, maybe a little bit of pressing, maybe just a little bit of lack of focus. You turn the ball over a couple times, that sticks with you mentally. So it just not getting off to a fast start, I think hurts this offense sometimes too. But, I think Stetson was in his own head some. But no, he's definitely not the problem. It's just a litany of things. Penalties can be a big factor as well, and we committed a good bit of those too.
So we do our co-host who's having connection issues, Joe DeLeone, another Italian, says, do you think Brian Harson's getting fired today? Look, I honestly thought Brian Harsin was getting fired last week after LSU came back from 17-0 down. I guess, could you see this happening? Look, if Georgia is one of your biggest rivals, I mean, you lose pretty handily. It could be bad for Brian Harsin very quick.
Yeah, I heard he got fired after the Penn State game. He's just playing out the string at this point. But yeah, if we put a big enough number on him, I think they go with an interim coach next week. Yeah, I would believe that.
Have you ever been or seen or known somebody that's gone through that from the coaching profession? And if so, I guess how difficult is it for players and coaches right now if he's just a lame duck coach?
It's real tough to be focused. I know practices has got to be difficult. In my previous stop, I actually live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And I worked for a guy who was at the end of his string, and I later found out that he got actually fired mid-season, but he was just kind of playing out the string. And you just notice that they're a little different. They're not quite as motivated. They get really, really risky. They start taking chances because, hey, I've already been fired, so why not? So, but it's difficult. I mean, the focus is not there. Things fall apart. Players quit. I wouldn't be surprised if he got fired and a lot of people hit the transfer portal. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing falls apart real quick after this week. And if Georgia puts on a big number, I wouldn't be surprised. If Auburn keeps it tight, maybe it's delayed another week. Maybe it's delayed until the Iron Bowl. Maybe they let them play out the string. I don't know how their administration works, but it's definitely weird. It's a weird vibe.
You know what's interesting, and I want to talk about Auburn now with you too. What's interesting about Auburn, coach, is this, and I did not realize it until I started breaking down their film. They got some dudes in that front seven now. They got some dudes now. They're not. I know that everybody thinks Auburn stinks, but they got some guys that can seriously play. This isn't just a walk in the park FCS school.
No, I mean they got dudes. They're just all individuals now. Their team collectively stinks, but Owen Popo is going to be a Sunday player and a really good one at
Right.
that. I mean that guy is legit as they come. They've got a bunch, and those front seven guys, they play hard as they can, but if they're on the field 90-something plays, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, and listen, I think what's also crazy is Auburn's at number 35 in total defense.
Mm-hmm.
Look, transient property doesn't work, and I get that, okay?
Yeah.
But however, it is interesting, right? Meaning Georgia played Missouri, beat Missouri, Auburn kept it close with LSU. They are finding ways to keep these games close.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they have the manpower to keep it close today. If I don't think it's happening, but if Auburn finds a way to keep it close, how do you think that happens?
Georgia struggles in the first quarter to get things going like they did the last couple of weeks. I think if this is going to be a big number, if Georgia covers this 30-point spread, it's going to have to play out like the South Carolina game where they're on from the kick, and they're on because when Georgia's on, it's like an avalanche. They just engulf you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But when they're not on, if Stetson is missing a pass here or there, we fumble it. We let up a big play to take Bigsby, or Robbie Ashford scrambles for a big gain, or something to kind of get Auburn going. If they make it out of the first half or the first quarter and it's a close game, it'll probably be tight most of the way for Auburn until depth takes over. So that's the way.
Obviously, you could see by the hat. I mean, our day in, day out job is covering LSU, but obviously doing the Bleav SEC show. What's up with Eric Gilbert? I heard Kirby on the SEC conference this week, and he said he was back, and they're working him in. Can you share anything about Eric Gilbert?
He's just the same things that have been happening. He just struggles with, just the college life and classes and, integrating into the depth chart and learning the system and things like that. And he's also getting outplayed by LeBron James. Darnell Washington, Brock Bowers, and even the freshman Oscar Delp is kind of outplaying him right now as well. But it's a long season. He'll work in there at some point. I mean, he's just got to get back to where he was when he first transferred in. So I think you see that a little bit.
Is Brock Bowers from? I don't know how to ask this because Georgia's had some really good weapons. Obviously, you see George Pickens, but obviously George has had some struggles at Georgia. Now he's going off in Pittsburgh. Is Brock Bowers like the dude at Georgia? Like, is he Like when people think of Georgia, do you think he's the face now because of everything he does?
Yeah, it's Brock Bowers. He's your get out of jail free card. You're struggling, just find 19. Just give the ball to 19, he'll get you out of some trouble. That's kind of where he is right now. He's a generational talent at tight end. He doesn't have the same skill set as Kyle Pitts. Don't think I'm trying to compare him to Kyle Pitts, but he is our version of Kyle Pitts.
I agree with that, and I think that he's just a better football player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, better all-around football player. Absolutely. He's a great blocker. I mean, the fact that we're giving him jet sweeps should tell you a lot.
You know who, Coach, let me ask you if this is a fair comparison, and it's a high comparison, so I don't necessarily want to do this completely. Tell me he's not a skinnier Gronk, right? Like how the Patriots utilized Gronk blocking, and even God rest it, and I don't mean to get political here, but even here, Aaron Hernandez, they would put him in the backfield. Yeah. It has a very West Coast, Bill Belichick, Todd Monken being a part of that tree. It has a lot of that feel, does it not?
It does. I mean, he's a universal weapon. I mean, why not use him? And Ragged Packer, I love your prediction, 59-7. I hope that comes to fruition. But yeah, no, Brock Bowers, like I said, he runs jet sweeps, he runs fade routes, they run a lot of screens to him. They've even put him in like deep orbit motion and given him tosses and things like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they handed it to him. But I mean, you got Kenny McIntosh and Kendall Milton, so I don't think you really have to put him at running back, but they would if they had to, or if they had a package for him. So yeah, absolutely. They use him all over the place.
Coach, a couple more for you. I want to ask you a little around the SEC. Look, it kind of feels a little wide open in reference to the West with Bryce Young being down.
Yep.
Maybe the East, it's kind of coming a little bit into fruition. Kentucky goes down this week. We'll see what LSU and Tennessee happens. How closely do you monitor this game today between Tennessee and LSU?
A lot, because, I want to see how Tennessee handles a rough road environment. I mean, a lot of people say LSU, they got lucky they don't get them at night, but I mean, LSU's crazy no matter what time of day it is. It's the years that we played against them in the SEC championship, even in Atlanta, where it's like around the Georgia Dome where there's not really anything. I will say this. One thing you guys know how to do at LSU is party and be loud. And
it's 9:30, Coach. I'm on number 2. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. I love it, man. I love it. So, I'm gonna see what Hendon Hooker does in that environment. LSU's got a pretty sporty defense, and LSU. What I've noticed from LSU is y'all are a great second half team. I mean, you kind of get off to a slow start. It looks like you're a heavyweight boxer trying to just feel your way through the first few rounds. And then second half comes, and then that's when you deliver your haymakers and punches, and that's how you kind of win games. This is a much different team than the one that played against Florida State. They're much more organized. They're starting to figure it out. They're starting to kind of buy into Brian Kelly, which I thought would always happen. It just, we like to have our little fun with Brian Kelly and his accents and some of the goofy stuff that he did in the offseason. But I think this is going to be a great game. I want to see how LSU plays the tempo. I want to see how they play the spread and see what kind of pressure they can get on Hendon Hooker.
Teams can do something that you replicate to win games. Even if LSU does, but have success, you can definitely replicate that. Coach, thank you so much for coming on. Tell everybody where they can catch all your stuff and everything you guys are doing.
All right, they can catch me on Bleav at Bleav in Dogs. Also, the show Twitter. We record live every Sunday. I put content out throughout the week. I'm also on the Illegal Motion College Football Podcast with Matt Perkins and Josh Cook. Matt Perkins is a Badger, so Ragged Packer. I think Graham Mertz is a great quarterback. They just misuse him. I'm also on SEC After Dark with Stephen Willis, Jake Thomas, and Jeb Beecham. We record live every Wednesday night, and the audio version usually drops on Thursday. So you can find me kind of here, there, and everywhere. So, but at Bleav in Dogs, the Bleav in Dogs YouTube channel, at Coach Burton 36, as you see there, my link tree is in my profile. You can click on it, find everything that you want to know, everywhere that you can find me, all the shows that I'm on.
We barking today, Coach. Go beat Auburn. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, go Dogs. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That's Coach Burton joining us. All right. Now, Zachy, we get to what most people want to know. It's the West Virginia Brawl. The men that are losing hair Jimbo and Nick. Let's go talk to Olivia Whitmire next. Let's talk about our good friend Carol Falsto first over at State Farm. Guys, you got to get over to Carol. Look, you live here in Louisiana or you live in the Southeast. You know how difficult weather can be. Give Carol Falsto a call today. Let him know that Blake Ruffino at AYS and Bleav sent you on by. All right, let's do this. Let's take a 45-second break. We'll be back. Let's talk some Bama A&M next. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. Okay, we're waiting for our guest, Olivia Whitmire, who covers Alabama for Bleav in Bama. It looks like we got her, so let's get to her. Olivia, what's going on this morning? How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Where are we heading here? Where are we going?
So we're in the SAT truck. We're on our way to Tuscaloosa for the Bama A&M game. Literally, I heard you perfectly with your last guest talking about the Georgia game, and then you were going to go to commercial, and it starts glitching out. I go, oh no! It's like, why is this where we've hit an error? But it looks like we're going okay. So if you have a problem hearing me, we are on the road, so that's why.
Well, don't think that I won't get you to pull this vehicle over, ma'am. I'm just joking. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Okay. All right. So look, we have the West Virginia Bowl today. The men that went after it pretty heavy in the offseason. What's going to happen today? Olivia, break it down for us.
So I know that this matchup, it's just been so highly anticipated because of all of that off-season beef, if you will, between Saban and Jimbo. Obviously, you know, we talked about it when it happened. We all talked about it at SEC Media Days. And SEC Media Days over the summer, that's when, you know, Jimbo and Nick, they kind of muted things. They were like, listen, we're good. We've been friends for a long time. And, you know, Jimbo was the one that said, like, you know, we're brothers. Like, aren't those the people that you fight the most with or the people that you're closest with? We don't always have to agree, that kind of stuff. So I think, obviously, but a lot of people, ever since last year's upset that Texas A&M got over Alabama, ever since, you know, the clock struck zero in that game, this rematch in Tuscaloosa has been circled on the calendars of fans everywhere. And then now, you know, with all the offseason drama, it's just added to that a little bit. I just don't, from what I've seen from Texas A&M, I don't know if they have, you know, enough bite to back up their bark as far as, you know, what happened with Jimbo and Saban over the offseason, you know, all of this recruiting and NIL drama and that kind of stuff. I think that whether Bryce Young plays or it's Jalen Milroe getting the start, which I think that Bryce is not going to play this weekend. I think either way, I think the offense for Alabama is going to continue to do well. And the Texas A&M defense has done really well. So I think they could present a challenge, but their offense, on the other hand, has not necessarily done that to the ability that I think they need to, especially going up against guys like Will Anderson, Henry To'oTo'o, you know, the guys that Alabama defense has. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be a super close game. I don't think that A&M's necessarily going to get blown out of the water either. But I don't like making like super bold predictions like that.
Do it.
I'm going to say I can't. I have to remain impartial, you know, covering.
No, you don't.
No impartial
Speak
here.
the truth.
I think Bama is going to win, and I think it's going to be by at least 2 touchdowns.
Oh, I think it's going to be more than that, sweetheart. I'm just going to let you know
Do
right
you
now.
Okay, hear me out. Do you think it's going to be more than that whether Bryce plays or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Well, I think it's close in the first half. I will say this. I do think A&M's defense has shown that they have immense talent, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason that their defense has been so bad late in the fourth quarter, they've getting, their offense can't bust a grape. But here's the thing. You have a quarterback change. They can't even score against Appalachian State. What you going to do against Alabama?
Just thinking about that game stresses me out.
Why? You should be stress-free.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. I did. Because personally, I went to the University of Alabama, so now I'm getting to cover my alma mater, but I grew up a University of Texas fan because my entire family went to UT in Austin. So I have had issues with Texas A&M since before I was even out the womb.
It's personal, right?
It's personal. People are like, oh, you went to Alabama, you like hate Auburn. I go, no. Texas A&M and Oklahoma. That is where my issues lie.
Well, let me ask you this question, and we'll get back to A&M and Alabama. The Red River Shootout. I don't call it the rivalry anymore. It's a shootout.
Gosh.
Is the Longhorns going to go down, or are they going to stay up today? What's going on here?
I think that, especially after what happened with Oklahoma last weekend, I think Texas is only going in there with momentum, seeing what can happen to, your biggest rival the week before your biggest rivalry game. I think that one's going to be close, honestly, but I kind of am thinking OU is going to have, a little bit of a fire lit under them, of course. And with this game, they always do. They're never going into this game super casually and that kind of stuff. But I think this one's always one to remember for Texas and Oklahoma fans for sure. But I'm thinking Oklahoma's coming out on top, and I hope my dad is not watching this because he would be very upset with me for saying that. My entire family would. But I think OU wins, but I think Texas makes things interesting because Texas's starting quarterback is supposed to play today, correct?
God's mullet's back, baby.
God's mullet is back.
Hold on. You know what he is? We're back.
There it is. We're back.
So
that could make things very interesting for sure, especially kind of with his return, if you will, even though it's only been a few weeks. I think that'll make things really interesting. So that could come down to a one score, in my opinion.
Can't lose to Oklahoma today. I think y'all have the talent to win. I think y'all do. Let's get back to Alabama and A&M to close this out with you, Olivia Whitmire joining us. I hope I'm saying your last name right. We have a lot of French and Cajun names down here, so when somebody has a normal name, it's very difficult for us. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Do you think that if Alabama – well, let me ask you this. What has been the vibe around Bryce Young this week? Obviously, he's been limited. They said he will go through an extensive throwing pregame. I guess what's the vibe around Bryce Young, though? Is there any possibility we see him, or is it all going to be Milroe?
I think there's always, all week, there's been a possibility. Going into this one, though, at least me thinking in the back of my mind and seeing the performance we saw from Milroe against Arkansas, I personally think Milroe and I think Bryce, along with the rest of Alabama's team, I think they think Milroe can get it done against A&M. So I think, and not that he couldn't necessarily get it done against other teams as well. We saw him have a great performance against Arkansas, especially, after things got a little closer than some Bama fans would have preferred. He gets them going and everything in the second half. Or in the fourth quarter, to kind of turn things around. But I think having Bryce available and potentially 100% health for the Tennessee game, I think is a little more important as far as locker room dynamics and as far as, that competitive nature and everything like that. So obviously Bryce wants to be out there, each and every week. He's not only an incredible quarterback, but just a great competitor and a great teammate and a leader to have. You want him on the field calling the shots and that kind of stuff. And he wants to be out there, but I think he, even more so, him, Saban, and the rest of the team and medical staff want him to be a little more 100%, especially going into Knoxville next Saturday. But I think, he's a guy that he's always cool, calm, and collected. I know that if he is not on the field today, we're going to see him cheering on Milroe and cheering on all of his teammates on the sidelines, just like we did last weekend against Arkansas, because I think he has the belief and the faith and the rest of his guys to know that even if he's not out there, he knows that they're going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, and Jalen Milroe's just a dude. And I think that
he is that dude.
I think that Saban deep down likes the fact that they got a running game going with him. It's kind of like his pleasure,
Yeah.
So we'll see. Olivia, last one for you. I got somebody that texted in here, and they said, well, if Olivia's on the phone, Blake, talking to you, who's driving the car? Or is she driving the car? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got it confirmed here. All
We're
right.
all good.
It's just like boyfriend, husband here, cousin. What we got?
No, it's actually my best friend's boyfriend. He is also one of our directors, and he helps us with photography for football and college football and everything like that. So he works for the local TV station that I work at in Huntsville alongside me. So he's going to be the guy behind my camera today as we've got our SEC pregame special and covering the game. So yeah, I am feet up on the dash, hanging out. We've just come out right outside of Birmingham, so we'll be in Tuscaloosa in a little less than an hour for kickoff. But no hands are on the wheel for me.
Well, I'm sorry for the awkwardness for you and him both. I didn't, because I see some stuff back there. I thought you guys got like a Winnebago.
We've got a whole set back here. We've got enough to put on, Good Morning America or something in the back of the truck.
Well, we're calling you the Bleav Katie Hartung with that then,
Okay.
Like if you're going to do all that. All right, Olivia, before we get you out of here, prediction score, do you have one?
I will. I haven't thought about it. I'll go. I feel like it's going to be kind of similar to the Arkansas game. I'll go 45-21 Alabama.
Awesome. I love it. Olivia, tell everybody where they can catch all your content.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at OM Whitmire. It's WHITMIRE TV. OM Whitmire TV on Twitter. And you can see all my stuff there. And then we're getting our show, Bleav in Alabama. We're getting that ready to go and launch pretty soon. So as soon as that gets up and running, it'll be on Bleav and all of that.
Awesome. I love it. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
Of course. Thank you so much.
You. That's Olivia Whitmire joining us. Y'all know what time it is. All right, did I just shake my boobs on live TV, Zach? Bro, we kick off. LSU kicks off at 11 a.m. Time to start drinking. We got to go kick some orange ass. Joe's not here. Our pets' heads are falling off. All right, almost all of that's true. Just our pets' heads aren't falling off. Okay, you know what it is next. Let's go to our good friend Jenna Drinks. Let's take a quick break. We return in 1 minute and 30 seconds with her. LSU fans, SEC fans, let's get tipsy. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50, that's BLEAV50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varnado & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varnado & Sons, go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. All right, we are joined by our good friend Jenna Drinks. Joe couldn't make it. He's being a bum.
He's here in spirit and in my head as we come back on. He has locked himself out of the studio and he is screaming that the long snapper is coming in, which means we all just need to drink right now in this very moment.
Well, here's the thing. He got a very shitty hotel last night. He had to leave. He said he almost got beat up, and you know how long snappers are. So I guess we got to just pray for him, right, Jenna?
Wait, he almost got beat up. I was listening into the top of the hour. What did I miss?
I'm just kind of making all that up. I'm just trying to give him a hard time,
Shocker.
No.
Shocker.
Okay. So listen, I'm really excited. The team that we cover is playing at 11. I like getting my drink on.
Yep.
Let's not waste any time here. I'm excited for this. What's going on? What are we making today?
So I figured we've been doing this now for a while, and I kind of wanted to challenge us with a cocktail this week, guys. So it involves a little bit more steps, but I think we can do it, okay?
All right, so just letting you know, I don't want people seeing me do this.
That's fine.
I'm watch you do this because I don't want to be made fun of. So I'm just going to let you know I'm trying very hard behind the scenes, okay?
Okay, I know you are, and I have full faith in you. Okay, so we are making an orange mezcal Rita. Again, I feel like orange juice in the morning goes together very, very well. Mezcal is a type of smokier tequila, and with the citrus of the orange being really nice on your profile as well with the smokiness, it's kind of a nice balance. So first thing you're going to do, guys, is you're going to take your orange, okay, and you're going to slice it. All right, I want you guys to create just a little wedge. Reason why is you're going to take your glass, okay, it along the top. Okay, this part of the step is optional. You don't need to do this, but this is where, again, we've been doing this now for a while. I think we've upgraded our bartending skills. Okay, you're gonna take a plate, put some tahini down. Again, I feel like I'm talking to a lot of people in the South, so you guys already know this, but your Midwest girls just learning about tahini. And I just love a tahini rim because I think it adds so much flavor profile. All right, put that off to the side. Now this is where we're getting fancy. We're making this in a glass. Okay, like this is my really fancy mixer that I only bring out for people I really, really like, and that's all of you guys. Okay, so we are going to do 2 ounces of mezcal. All right, I have one based out of Chicago.
I'm trying so hard here, Jenna. If you can hear me,
I can hear you, Blake.
It's not going great. I'm working my ass off, though. I'm just letting you know, shit's hit the fucking fan. Okay, shit is completely hit the fucking fan. But continue.
Okay, I kind of wish we could see Blake doing this.
There's absolutely Zach. Don't you fucking dare.
Zach, please record this.
No.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. You're going to do 2 ounces of tequila in, okay? Again, if we're measuring this with our eyes, guys, it's about 2 fingers, okay? Then kind of like you would do with a normal tequila, we're going to take some simple syrup, all right? Half an ounce. If you don't have simple syrup, you can do agave or triple sec. That's kind of what a normal margarita calls for. So totally just depends on what you'd like to do. Then we're going to add a little bit of lime juice, make it fresh to death. Blake, please don't get the lime juice in your eye. I've done that once. It hurts like a muscle.
I'm a step behind. I'm just getting out the lime juice.
That's fine.
Real over here. I feel embarrassed.
I really hope Zach is recording this so I can see this later. Okay, now we're going to take our orange juice, guys, and you're going to do 1 ounce, okay? So a little bit more, a little bit of a splash more, because, again, it's the morning. We need to wake up. Orange juice, tequila, all that good shit, okay? Now, take your ice. Add it in. All right. And this is where it gets fun. You good, Blake? I'm checking in on you. Wellness check.
I muted myself. I can't find my ice. Oh, there it is.
Okay. Now, you are going to shake this, okay? Make sure that whatever you're doing it on, if you don't have one of these, you can literally take 2 red Solo cups and just mix it back and forth, okay? Then, take this off. Pour it on in.
Pour it on in.
Pour it on in. All right. Now, if you are someone who is listening to this that doesn't like your drink too strong, again, that is totally fine. The way to kind of balance it out or make it not as, I guess pungent is the word, is top it off with some club soda. Okay. That'll be your little bit of a balancer. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I always suggest kind of just keeping club soda around because I think it adds a lot. And then again, not necessary, but because we've gotten fancy the last few weeks doing this, always shaken, not stirred. But we can have that conversation later of why you stir something over shaking it. And then you just take a little orange peel, put her on in. She's cute. She's sexy. She's Grace.
Okay, I think I didn't do like the thyme and like the orange peel.
That's okay.
I think I got it.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. So, Jenna, I just want to let you know you're doing all of this for me next time because this is not good. Okay, you ready?
It's okay. Yep. Cheers.
Oh, God, that's good.
Right?
Oh, it's got like a smoky burn at the end.
Yeah. So mezcal obviously has been around for a while, but I would say in the last maybe 5 years, they've really started to like push it into just like liquor stores and even in bars and restaurants. And what's nice about it, if you're a tequila fan, if you want like something that's smoky, earthy, this is great. And there's so many different types of flavor profiles of mezcal, but that's why I like it in this so much because orange juice is so citrusy. It's so like bright and juicy that it does a really nice job of balancing this out.
I agree. I mean, it's got like it was really sweet, kind of maybe.
Yeah,
maybe sweet's not a good word, but it's got like the tang in the front end of it, and then like the smoky burn in the back.
It's like a juicy, citrusy up front, not sugary, but just juicy.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a great way of putting it.
And then as it hits, as it goes down, that's when you get a little bit of that burn. But it's not like a bourbon burn where it like lingers around. It's just the way that it literally feels in your throat going down
my breast muscles,
exactly.
Like it's coming down, my titty cavity.
Exactly.
This is really good, man. The only bad thing is I don't think I can, I don't think I can make this multiple times and it be this good.
Well, because the problem is as you make it the first time, it's great. And then it's so great that it just slowly starts to go downhill slightly.
Yeah, this is like a 2-drink, 3-drink max.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lemony twang. I like that phrase, lemony twang.
Yeah, we had our Monday guest on.
Okay.
And he was at his aunt's house. Okay. She walks in, busts in. Okay, like kicks in the door. It's her house, kicks in the door. Carter, she says. Okay. She goes, I made you a smoothie. And he was like, hey, I'm live on TV or whatever. However she says it. She goes, oh, what's up, everybody? Okay. In her moo-moo. Okay.
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
And she goes, all right, Carter, I'm leaving you. But it's got that good lemony twang. And so now anytime we do something like this, if you have remotely close something to lemony twang or limony twang, they're going to point it out. It got so bad on Twitter, the guy had to change his name to Smoothie Prince because everybody was like blistering him with smoothie content. It's insane.
That's the best thing I've heard today.
I know it was, but she was great. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
I wonder if I can figure out what would be a good lemony twang drink. There's got to be a way to do it. I gotta
be honest. I gotta be honest. I don't like lemon.
Okay, then we won't make it.
Yeah, I'm not we can just know that, I'm not gonna
enjoy it.
The biggest of fans, you're right. I'm just not give me some hard liquor and a beer, so Jenna, let me ask you this. When you're pre-gaming, like before a big event, like, do you drink a beer or two, then hit the liquor, or do you hit the liquor and then come down and drink the beer? What's the best way to do this?
Well, there's that saying, liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, you get sicker. So
No
I
wonder
feel like
why I get so fucked up.
Exactly. So you have to do liquor first if you're going to. And I always feel like liquor is a nice you like sprint a little bit and then you go to the beer and then you can like pace. That's kind of
That's a
how
good way of
that's how
putting it.
my drinking goes. So growing up, I sound like such a degenerate. When I was like 18, 19, maybe 17, we used to chug Captain Morgan. I don't know why, but we thought that was like the cool thing to do. And me and my girlfriend Maggie, and that was our pregame was chugging a pint of Captain Morgan together and then going to beer. Now it's just bourbon.
Oh, what's this? Dwayne Coleman says limoncello moonshine with lemon heads. Oh,
So that sounds very like, that's like
Remedy.
it's like that little kid who like takes the bite of the lemon for the first time and he's like that. Like that's what I imagine that shot would be like. But again, you can balance that out if you want to drink it with club soda, Sprite, something where it's not too pungent.
So that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get to a little bit of you this week. All right.
Yes.
Sorry about the White Sox, but basketball
Yeah.
starts. You went to the Bulls game. How was the Bulls game?
The Bulls game was great. I haven't been to a Bulls game in years, and I forgot how much of a party it is. Like, people were twerking, kids were lifting their shirts
Oh.
up. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. Like, the amount of little children, mostly boys, who like felt the need to like flash the crowd was very strange. But they did it, and apparently it was encouraged because the more they did it, the more other kids did it. But that being said, Bulls won, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I drank bourbon.
Were
And my
you
cousin almost beat the guy up next to us, so that was fun.
Oh God, why?
Because he spilled her bourbon, didn't apologize, didn't offer to buy her another one, and just walked by and then kept ignoring us, even though they sat right next to us. So they just kept going around us like cowards. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. Can you imagine, like, if you spill someone's drink? Like,
my God.
okay, like I think this is a question for everyone listening. Etiquette, like drinking etiquette, bar etiquette. If you spill someone's drink, the proper response is,
Go get him a new one.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. What were you drinking? Or you can come with me and I'll buy you a drink. There was no like, I'm sorry. It was like they just kept walking.
No, I can't do that.
It was so bad.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this. So I went to a Saints game a couple of years ago, and it was when the Saints played the Patriots and Tom Brady was still in Boston. And these guys were sitting in my seat, and I was like, hey, guys, it's our seats. And he goes, the Boston X said, I'm not fucking moving. And I'm like, I looked at him, Jenna, on my life, as God is my witness. I looked at him and said, I will slap dog shit out of you if you don't move. He goes, do it. So I grab him. I'm like, brother, today's not the day. I'm drunk, and I will fucking like body slam you. He goes, so I thought he was going to be a bigger guy because you could see like he kept doing like this in his chair, trying to flex. He stands up. He's like 5'6", and I'm like, dude, I eat burritos bigger than you. Okay. Needless to say, I got you. You always got to go into a stadium a little feisty. You know what I mean? Like, you always got to go in there with a little fight. I do want to ask you this. You say people were twerking. Were you back? Were you twerking? Were you just, were you doing it? Were you twerking?
No, but I was dancing. I was dancing.
Okay.
My coat was too long for me to twerk. We'll say that. So.
Okay, I got you. Hocus Pocus 2 came out this week. I saw you post it. I didn't see it. How is it?
It was great. For it being a sequel 30 years later, no joke. Like, you have to know with sequels, like they're never going to be as great as the first one. But as long as you can enjoy it, like it's the nostalgia of it, right? And there was so much nostalgia. And my cousin put on this big production. She had a giant blow up screen in her backyard and had a fog machine behind the screen. It was the most bougie over the top thing on the planet, and I was here for it.
I saw it. I saw the whole thing, and it's like y'all went full out for Halloween. Are you a big Halloween fan?
We're a big Hocus Pocus crew, and I guess we are big Halloween people. I dressed up like a witch last year, but you couldn't really tell because I basically just wore what was in my closet because internally I am a witch, is what I like to say. Everything's fine, Blake. I'm not going to do anything bad to you. I'm kidding.
Can you put a good spell on me? Like, I want to make this a favor.
Yeah. So there was a little boy who was an astronaut last year, and he was coming up, and I always pass out candy at my parents' house. And he said something like, he kept looking at me. And I was like, you're a scientist. I mean, an astronaut. You're going to the moon. You're going to the moon. Go to the moon and come back. You're just like trying to talk to the kids. And he just kept staring at me. And so I'm talking to his parents. And then finally he walks away and he said, "You're a good witch."
Hey,
Made my whole year. Made my whole year.
That's great,
Right?
though.
It was really sweet. It was
Do you
really,
give out
really
like
sweet.
full Snickers bars?
Not the full Snickers bars. We get like the
Baby baby
packets.
size?
The baby candies. Yeah. You can't be a house that's known for giving out full Snickers bar because kids come back like lined up,
I
bus
know.
loads. And it's like there's disappointment if you don't keep following through with that year in and year out.
Dr. Robbie, I was 12 years old or 8 years old. I'm telling you, he did the full candy bars, and everybody came back the next year. And it was mainly, and then every year out, he was our town dentist. He gave everybody a free, checkup. That was, it's like, man, you can't do that. But I guess he was doing that, to keep his business running, which is smart by him.
I mean, is it brilliant or is it mad? Or is it
I think
both?
it's a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both.
All right, Jenna, this is great. Cheers,
Thank
my
you.
friend.
Cheers,
It's good
darling.
seeing you. Well, don't get in a fight without me. How about that?
I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. I will not get in a fight without you. I do want to say this though. I sent you that photo in our group text right when the show started.
Yes.
Okay, so when you guys asked me in the beginning of the year if I'm a fan of any team, I forgot to say, which is like terrible of me. I'm not a fan of this team, but I'm a fan of a player on this team. A kid I grew up with, lived across the street from me, Matt Burns, 82 on Houston. So I've become a Houston fan this year. So a big group of people from my neighborhood went down to Memphis to watch him. And one of the guys that is a part of our community decided to dress up as Elvis Presley. With Burns and 82 on the back, hair and all. And that's how Chicago rolls out. That's how the South Side rolls out for people. We care in a very strange way. And sometimes we dress like Elvis with the wig and all.
I dig that. I wish somebody would do that for me. They did put a Ruffino for Heisman, at Southeastern one time.
Yeah.
Ruffino for Heisman. I didn't, I was struck by it, but was what it was. All right, dude, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, friend.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good one.
All right, that's Jenna Drinks. All right, we got to go. Sean Salisbury, our special guest, the college football savant, quarterback savant. What's happening today in the SEC? We find out next. Let's talk about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm. Guys, this is our last break. Sean Salisbury next.
By the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vicnair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by.
All right, he's back again. Our good buddy Sean Salisbury joining us. My man, what's happening?
All good. How you doing? Good to be on with you again. Happy Saturday to you.
Good to be on with you. A great day for college football. Sean, I mean, look, separation Saturday to some extent. Some teams could be undefeated in the SEC or in their conference, or they could be struggling. Massive day. I guess, how do you start your day off? A lot of fans are asking, because we have a comment here in our text thread. Blake, as Sean, how do you start your day off when you're watching a whole day of college football?
Well, I built a new home, and I built a big, huge back patio with an outdoor kitchen with grill, double tap, beer tap, 4 75-inch TVs that are mounted that can see from all angles, big over padded stacked furniture with taste so people can come. So I've turned my I spent most of my time on my outdoor patio and, let your gal handle the inside part of it and stuff. So it starts for me early. I'm a 3:30 wake up guy during the week. So sleeping in till like 5:30 or 6 for me is good on the weekends. And I got 2 dogs, one big American bully, and he knows he's going to the dog park to play with like 50 other big dogs on Saturday. So we're up early, do that, get exercise in. So I feel like I got my sweat on and pop on that Peloton. And I bought this doggone with the why am I losing my mind? The one LeBron endorses. The one I just looked at it this morning. Looked at it, Peloton, but it's the tonal. The tonal is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's all that way built in. So I jump on that, and then I have some breakfast, and the College Game Day is the first thing on in the morning. That's on all day. I think it's the best pregame show on the planet. And I get all 4 TVs set to the 4 big games and tape some others in the house in case there's a game I need to see that's not on that television. And we go, man. And buddies will come over and we watch, or if they don't come over, I got it all there and got myself tequila on the rocks when it's going, a little tequila on the rocks to sip, and a little IPA in one side and a Mexican beer, Dos Equis in the other in the tap. And it's food, football, and constant close watching all day. And today with all these early games, the 11 o'clock games are off the charts today. They might not like it, but we as fans do. So that's how my Saturday starts, with exercise, dog, food, and getting the outdoor patio ready for guests and ready to roll, brother.
Sean, so I'm going to start there. Hendon Hooker, in all of his starts, has 45 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Why he's not talked about more, I think, is criminal.
Agreed.
I guess what do you see? So I had my old college quarterback that was on the show, and so many quarterbacks. I wanted to know what everybody saw in Hendon Hooker. I turn this question over to you. What do you see in this young man that makes him so good?
I love, he's got, to me, the first thing that sticks out, he's got a tremendous awareness and football IQ. To me, the 3 things you have to do to play the position. 1, you better process information. When I say play it, I mean play it at a high level. And Blake, to back up a little bit, I had about 3 guys. Levis was another one, ironically, a couple of them in the SEC, that there was another level to their game, even though they're highly pubbed and drafted. And Hooker was one of the top guys on my list. And I remember talking to a friend of mine who covers some SEC football too, and he felt the same way. So for me, you've got to process information, which means football IQ, be able to get through your reads and through football urgently without being hurried. That's 1. 2 is you better throw on time to windows, because he throws on time to windows that it's almost like his anticipation's a step ahead, which I like. And Josh Heupel, and you see how fast they play. And 3rd, you better do it accurately. And then there's the bonus part of the stuff sometimes you can't teach. Guy can extend
getting outside the pocket,
like extend plays, play some off schedule stuff about 6-8 times a game. Well, you just do stuff that the rest of us, the mere mortals, can't do. And if you got those, you got to start. And then there's the other intent, the leadership part that comes into it, that goes with playing. All I think he needed was more reps and having a chance for us to show him at a high level, and they start winning. And it's no coincidence, mind you. We are a quarterback-driven high school, college, and pro. When that guy is good, then you damn well know you got a chance. Now, you got to defend and the rest of it. But that's where it starts, and everybody's feeding off his energy. I think he's phenomenal. But if you can process information with football IQ, and all that comes into that is being able to know who to get and how to get him, meaning where to throw it on time to the right guy. It sounds so simple, and it's not that easy, but the ability to work through progressions without being hurried, and that football IQ, and be a great decision maker. And sometimes the best decision, as you notice by his turnovers, the lack thereof, is to throw it out of bounds, to throw it out of the end zone. Sometimes that's the best play in the business. He's right now playing at a level that's as good as anybody in America at his position.
What do you think of that LSU-Tennessee game today? Do you think that LSU could pull it out, or do you think Tennessee makes their mark?
I think LSU can beat them, but I don't think they're going to. And there's a couple things that stick out. One is, and I know with the pass rush and, with the injuries that are going on and trying to protect your own quarterback, is offensive line's got to deliver for LSU today. That's 1. 2 is you better not have a bunch of 3 and outs. Like, if you get or nothing, 24-3. I think Jaden Daniels is I know he started to practice this week. If he's, depending on how healthy he is, I know what his feet do, and I know he's efficient underneath. They got to take shots. You have got to take some shots because you're going to get some shots, and then you have to hit him because their vertical passing game, the ability, they play it safe. You play it safe, you're going to be in a chase mode the whole game. Playing it safe and playing it stupid are two different things. Safe when necessary, but when you got one-on-one, you're going to have to take shots, and Jaden's going to have to pull that trigger. I like Tennessee today in an 11 o'clock start. I just think right now Tennessee's a better team, and why? They have the more explosive quarterback. Even though Jaden's good, I got to get more big plays from my stud receivers in the quarterback position on the vertical passing game and run after the catch today. What's it, 33 or 38 yards is the longest play from a back out of the backfield. I think it was a wheel route. I got to get more big plays in the passing game, or it's going to be a tough one for them today.
Completely agree with you there on LSU offensively. I want to get your question because, look, Arkansas is struggling. Mississippi State, Will Rogers, if they win today, they're 5-1. Nobody really thought Mississippi State could get there, but Mike Leach is starting to do something we haven't seen him ever do, Sean, and that's run the football. What do you think about Mississippi State? How good can they be?
I think really good, especially, if they can – they've been – and their one loss, I mean, ironically, as we know who they lost to at LSU, but in it, they've got Leach. I spent time with him. I flew into Starkville this summer. I've known Mike for 25 years. He and my brother went to school. We're best friends. Mike and I we talk football all the time. And the one thing Mike wants to do, and Blake, I think he knows that in this conference, to offset just dropping back and putting your quarterback in harm's way all the time if you play empty. Mike, talk about a guy who doesn't care about your measurables. He wants you to throw accurate and make great decisions. And Rogers does that. But what he really liked to do is soften you up so he could run for 200 yards. They got a kid going there from Katy High School next year, who is Katy High's running back now. He's one of the top recruits in the country, and I train the quarterback at Katy, so I work with his kid. And if Mike likes to run it, he's got a kid that's going to be able to run it as they move forward. And he's a dynamic player at one of the best programs in the country. So Mike does, and I spent time with him. The truth is, you see all those throws, Blake, but what Mike would like to do is accurate. He uses the passing game as an extension of the run. He does with those shallow crossers. He loves the screen game. He wants the ball out quick with accuracy, and they're playing better defense. So Mike's onto something, and we know how he is. He's the type of guy that if you decide to blink in a big game, he'll wear you out. Arkansas is going to have to make some plays because Mike not only is capable of running it now, but we also know that Will Rogers, if he has to throw it 45 times, is capable of completing 35 of them. So when you got an accurate passer in a run game that's playing pretty physical with those guys at the point of attack, it's a good combination to have and a trifecta for Mike. Mike is a dangerous coach to have to deal with. Now, it's incumbent upon them to understand where Arkansas is coming from, and they'll play you physical now. They will, and they'll want to play downhill football, and they'll want to try to use up some clock too. I don't think this is an easy win for Mississippi State, but I think Mississippi State will win, and a lot of that will have to do with controlling the football and protecting Rogers as well.
We agree completely on them in that game. I think that they pull that one out. Sean, so 2 years ago I came on the show, and I said, guys, there's this young man by the name of Jalen Milroe who you're not going to talk about, nobody's going to talk about until he gets in the game, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh, who in the hell is this guy?
Right.
Sean, I know that his passing ability may not be Bryce Young-esque, but my God, when he's got the ball in his hands, it is unreal. Alabama A&M today, I'm taking Alabama big. I think Jalen Milroe, you don't even have to play Bryce, in my opinion, in this game to win. That kid's electric. What did you see last week in Milroe?
Alabama's going to curb stomp A&M today. First off, and with Max Johnson's injury and that offense, Jimbo right now, and listen, I'm about to complete my master's, not a pat on the back from A&M. My son went to A&M, both my boys. My other one was started at A&M. He was at Kansas at first and then became a chef. And so I love the program. But right now, for the money they're paying him, Jimbo's got to get more out of him. If he's a brilliant, genius play caller, I can make the argument that he's the most overpaid coach in the country if they don't start winning, because his record's the same as Sumlin. And I'm a Jimbo Fisher fan, but I'm also not going to sit here and lose credibility to tell you their offense is kicking ass. Their offense blows right now, and they got to play better. And Jimbo's part of that, whether it's the play calling and the quarterback and the whole production. And getting to the guy you're talking about, I sat with his father, another Katy, not Katy High School, but a Katy area kid, went to Katy I don't know if it was Seven Lakes. I can't remember. Tompkins, maybe Katie Tompkins. I can't remember, but I sat with his dad this summer and the quarterback's father from Katy that I trained, and they're friends. And we talked about his son and the valuable experience he was getting when the opportunities presented itself, and you never know. And we spent 2 hours discussing Alabama football and his son and some of the things he needs to get better at. But one thing we all said, that he's an explosive talent, and it bears itself out. But they hang 35 points with him in the lineup, so he didn't miss much. Now, obviously, Bryce is a more pure passer, but the kid is good enough throwing the ball that he just needs to get into rhythm. They can beat A&M with him the whole time today. And if you don't gather him up, he is a friggin' monster on the edge, and he is a dynamic talent, and they just keep pumping these dudes out. Once Bryce goes up to the NFL this year, and this kid's your quarterback, he's a really good player. And there's two things in this. You mentioned this quarterback and the other quarterback. Now, I want you to keep an eye if he gets into the game today and Haynes King isn't playing well. A kid named Connor Wegman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from Wegman.
He's a Bridgeland. He went to Bridgeland High. Can he play? Oh,
no,
my goodness.
I meant, do you think he plays today?
If they're getting their ass kicked, Jimbo said that he might have some plays for him. He's a dual threat guy, the number one dual threat guy. Bridgeland's about 20 minutes from here. I went to watch this kid play against a quarterback I'm training who's one of the top 20, 24 kids in the country, dual. And my guy's really good, but this kid's got more experience. He was phenomenal. Ball's on time, running feet, poised. If they leave their glove on the mound, they're not getting that job back. So if you get to see a little bit of him, it may not make a difference in today's game, but he is a good player. And you mentioned this is a dynamic game for maybe some backup quarterbacks. But you may be seeing the future in this game today on both teams. But Alabama's going to curb stomp them whether Bryce Young plays today or not. I don't know how they're going to move the football.
Sean, we got one more for you before we got to get you out of here. I know we got football here in 30 minutes.
No problem. I got you, brother.
So let's get to one. USC plays Washington State today and then Utah next week. Look, Sean, I'm of the belief, this is just me. I don't care that you played a close game at Oregon State. You found a way to win. Sometimes you just got to win football games. They're winning. How do you think USC is going so far?
Well, the point differential, they give up a lot of yards, and that bothers me. But if you can keep people out of the end zone, Arizona State got it. I don't like that. I need more physicality from them. But I learned more about a football team when they win a close game on the road in whether it's Wazoo playing up in the Palouse or in that game against Oregon State and Corvallis, they had to gut one out. I learned more about a football team. Listen, are you going to learn more about when Alabama beat somebody 63-10 or when they beat somebody 21-17 in a fist fight?
Right.
SC was in a fist fight. Oh, it's Oregon State. Oh, well, they did it. That's exactly right. And they got two UCLA's coming down the pike. They got this one today, which is a dangerous game. And then they got Utah next week in Salt Lake City. The Trojan, they're winning, and they are – listen, you want to talk about dynamic. The quarterback is unlike anything I've seen at SC maybe ever with his feet, and he can rip it. He's not even reached his nearest potential or the potential he's going to reach when he throwing the football. He is a freak show. Well, as long as but I am concerned because they can throw the ball. Now, we can force some turnovers. Washington State will throw it to you. It reminds me of the Matt Stafford thing where they can throw it to you 2 times, but they can also throw for 380 and score 21 points in 4 minutes and beat you. And that's a good thing. So dangerous game. Why? At home. Everybody's talking Utah, undefeated. Utah's got to deal with UCLA today. So they're facing a similar circumstance. UCLA's undefeated. I just hope the Trojans realize, and it's such a cliche, let us talk about Utah as fans and media. You guys go there and you're going to have to kick Washington State's ass today because it is dangerous. I'd be nervous as hell if they were playing up there. I really would, Blake. Washington State, it gives you that because they're one of the, and if you're betting them, you're like, oh, I want to pick the Trojans 2 touchdown favorites. Yet that backdoor covers a Washington State special because they could score like 2 times late, right? But SC will win the game. But this is a dangerous game because their defense has got to stop drives better. They will get some turnovers, and we've seen. But the yards and time of possession, but SC is so quick. The offense for the Trojans will be the difference. I'd like to see their defense step it up because next week, the quarterback's good, and this is the most physical team until a playoff that they're going to play all year a week from now in Salt Lake City. But they can't be thinking about that. Washington State's dangerous, Trojans will win today. And if they beat Utah, I think they're running the table and going to win that Pac-12 and have a chance to be in the final because of and they're going to get some love because the Pac-12 looks a little deeper than I thought it was at the beginning of the year with some of these teams on a lower end that are playing good football. So Trojans today, dangerous game though. They'll win.
So let me ask you this. Last one I lied.
Oh, you're good, bud.
UCLA, you surprised by Chip Kelly and that crew?
I'm surprised at how dynamic they are right now, but the quarterback is dynamic. He is a playmaking. I call him football playing Jesse's, and it looks like Chip's finally getting. He loves team speed, right? And when you see he had it at Oregon, and when he has it, they're different. So the quarterback play and their ability, and when a rivalry game, when they finally do play, they're always scary because they've beaten us plenty, and we've got them. So I don't know if maybe I'm surprised at what the 5-0 start and how they're doing it. But it doesn't shock me with the Chip Kelly team that they're elevating their play. I would have not thought at the beginning of the year that UCLA was going to be a major factor, good but not dominant. And then you got Utah and UCLA, Oregon starting to pick it back up a little bit. They got one in Arizona. So, yeah, but a Chip Kelly coach team with speed, the dangerous part is he's not afraid to do anything. He'll pull every single thing out to beat you. I'll deal with them later on. But I think they're going to give Utah a little run because the quarterback will keep them in the game. He's a good player now at UCLA, and Chip will put the ball in his hand all friggin' day long.
You know what's interesting, Sean, about them? Their interior offensive lineman at UCLA, very physical.
And not normally it's been a while since we've said that about them. We think Chip Kelly, right. UCLA, finesse. Mm-hmm. You are 100% correct. Underrated talk.
Well, I forget their center's name, but I do an offensive line talk with guys in the seminar. The vertical push they're getting, I'm using their film every week. It's insane.
They're doing a great job of creating a new line of scrimmage at the line, which and again, my team right now, meaning the Trojans, they've got to get more stout and get a little thicker in the ass for that because when they do, Chip he's like a shark in water, blood infested water. He will find where you can't stop him and somehow, some way try to attack it. But you and I will have this conversation before that one, dude. I'm already nervous enough to get through Washington State and deal with Utah next week. There you go. But we got a hell of a slate of games today, and I can't wait.
Thank you so much, Sean, for joining us. We'll bring you back on soon. Thank you so much.
My man, you are top shelf talent and awesome, and I'm honored always to be on with you and your great fans. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. We'll talk soon. That's Sean Salisbury, our special guest for today. Zachy, Tennessee left tackle Jeremiah Crawford gets his first career start for Tennessee as Will Campbell is out. Guys, he's out. Stop quite. He's out. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. But that is it for us. That is it. Joe DeLeone had to go hang out with, peoples. So, all right, Zach, let's go watch some LSU. Let's go watch some football. We'll see y'all next week. We'll be picking up this SEC show more than just one day a week very soon. Until then, y'all have a good night or have a good day. Let's go watch some football. See you on the post game on the other side of LSU. Peace out, Girl Scouts.